Hi everyone, we have already come to the 8th unit and that's incredible. So, I am Kahor Vanegina Abduvahidovna, an English teacher at Kashi State Technical University, and today we will talk about consumer behavior. Let's get our lesson started. Today you will be guided to gain the following learning outcomes. So, firstly, understanding consumer behavior. Secondly, we will review our lesson by listening to audio material and doing other tasks. And of course, we will practice one of the most expressive tenses, past perfect tense. Let's do the thing just as always we do. So we will answer the following questions. Why do people prefer branded products even if they are more expensive? Second question, have you ever bought something because of advertising? What was it? And the last question, why do customers read online reviews before buying a product? Okay, prepare your answers and we will continue our lesson. And now let me talk about consumer buying behavior, which is the way people decide what to buy, why they buy it, and how they use products in their daily lives. Understanding this concept is very important for businesses because it helps them connect with customers and meet their real needs. In real life, we all show consumer behavior every day. For example, when you choose a smartphone, you don't just look at the price. You also think about the brand, design, camera quality, and even what your friends are using. This shows that buying decisions are not simple. They are influenced by many factors. There are 4 main factors that affect consumer behavior. First, personal factors such as age, income, and lifestyle. For instance, a university student may prefer affordable clothes, while a professional may choose more expensive brands. Second, psychological factors like motivation and perception. For example, if a product has many positive reviews online, people often believe it's high quality and feel more confident buying it. And third, social factors. Today, platforms like Instagram and TikTok strongly influence what we buy. If a popular influencer recommends a product, many followers quickly want to try it. Fourth, cultural factors. Companies often adapt their products to local tastes. For example, McDonald's offers different menus in different countries, and Coca-Cola changed its flavors and marketing to match local preferences. Understanding consumer behavior is also important for predicting trends. For example, today many people prefer eco-friendly products. As a result, companies are producing reusable bags, sustainable clothing, and organic food. Another good example is Nike. The company realized that most of its customers are not professional athletes, but ordinary people who want to feel active and healthy. So they created campaigns that inspire everyone, not just professionals. In conclusion, consumer buying behavior helps businesses understand what customers want and why they make certain decisions. By studying this, companies can create better products, improve customer satisfaction, and stay competitive in a fast-changing world. Now it's time to test our comprehension of what consumer behavior is. Let's start first task with answering the following question based on the concepts we've discussed. So, first question, what is consumer behavior? Second question, name 4 factors that influence consumer decisions. The third question, how do psychological factors affect purchasing decisions? Next question, why is social media important in consumer behavior today? And the last question, describe the 5 states of the consumer decision-making process. In next exercise, you should read the statements and decide if they are true or false. You'll be given 30 seconds to think, but you may take extra time by pressing pause, and we will check our answers together afterwards. Now I briefly explain the answers to this true and false activity. And number 1 is false. Consumer behavior does not study how governments spend money. It studies how customers choose, buy, and use products or services. Number 2, it's true. Psychological factors include attitudes, beliefs, motivation, and perception. These factors strongly affect what people decide to buy. Number 3, it's false. Culture has a major impact on buying decisions. People's traditions, values, and lifestyles often shape their preferences. Number 4, it's true. Inflation can reduce purchasing power because when prices rise, people can buy fewer goods with the same amount of money. And number 5, it's false. Impulse buying is not always rational. It usually happens suddenly, based on emotions or desire rather than careful planning. For example, buying snacks near the cashier. And number 6 is true. Brand loyalty means customers repeatedly buy the same brand because they trust it or feel satisfied with it. For example, someone always choosing the same phone brand. Number 7, it's true. Social media can strongly influence consumer preferences. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok often produce trends and products to millions of people. Number 8, it's false. Post-purchase behavior happens after the buying decision, not before it. It includes satisfaction, disappointment, reviews, or repeat purchases. So now we will do some matching exercise where you should match the words with their definitions correctly. And after 30 seconds, we will check our answers together. Let's go. Alright, dear listener, now let's check our answers together step by step. So, first one, A, brand loyalty means when customers continue to buy the same brand. This happens because they trust the quality of the product. B, purchasing power means the ability of consumers to buy goods and services. If prices rise too much, purchasing power becomes lower. C is impulse buying, means buying something without planning it. For example, buying candy while waiting in line. The D, market segmentation, means dividing a market into smaller groups of consumers. Businesses use this strategy to target different customer needs. E, price sensitivity, means the degree to which consumers react to price changes. Some people stop buying when prices increase. F, customer satisfaction, means the feeling of happiness after purchasing a product. Happy customers often return again. G, Perceived value means the customer's opinion about the worth of product. If people think a product is valuable, they may pay more for it. Age, buying habits means regular patterns in consumer purchasing behavior. For example, buying groceries every weekend and others. Now let's do some listening activities. So you are going to listen to a podcast and you should fill in the blanks with necessary words which you hear from the audio material.
Unit 8. Listening. Listen and fill in the blanks with appropriate words. Ethan Miller stood in line for sneakers that cost $300. He had $347 in his bank account. He didn't need them, but the internet said he did. The night before, influencer Madison Blake posted, "These aren't sneakers, they're culture." The website crashed. Only 500 pairs. Someone tweeted scarcity, exclusivity, status. The shoes suddenly felt priceless. Behind him, a voice whispered, "Resale will hit $600. Now it wasn't a purchase. It was an investment. At 10:03 a.m., Ethan walked out victorious. That night, he posted a photo, 1,200 likes. Dopamine validation. He felt powerful. 2 weeks later, a new drop arrived. More limited, more exclusive. His pair, old news, resale $180. The comments changed. So did the feeling. Ethan stared at the box in his closet. He finally understood.
Okay, dear listener, if you're ready, let's check the answers. So, at 5:30 a.m., Ethan Miller was standing in line in the shop. The sneakers cost $300. He had only $347 in his bank account. He didn't actually need the sneakers. An influencer named Madison Blake described the sneakers as culture. Soon after her post, the brand's website crashed. According to social media, only 500 pairs were available nationwide. People believed the resale price would reach $600. That evening, Ethan's photo received 1,200 likes. 2 weeks later, the resale price dropped to $180. Now, I would like to talk about the past perfect tense. This tense is used to describe an action that happened before another action in the past. In simple words, it helps us show which event happened first. The structure of the past perfect is very easy. Subject plus had plus past participle. Verbs 3. For example, I had finished my homework before dinner. She had left when I arrived. They had studied English before they moved abroad. We often use the past perfect with words like before, after, when, by the time, already, and just. These words help us connect two past actions clearly. For instance, by the time the teacher came, the students had completed the task. After he had eaten, he went to sleep. Why is this tense important? Because it makes our speech and writing more organized and understandable. It helps the listener know the order of past events. To remember it easily, think of it like this. The past perfect is the past before the past. In conclusion, the past perfect tense is used to show an earlier past action, and its form is had plus verb 3. It's simple, useful, and very important in storytelling and daily communication. Now, to test how well you have understood the topic, let's try this exercise. Here you should circle the correct word or phrase. Think about it in 30 seconds, then we will check the answers together. Alright, dear listener, now let's check the answers together. So the first one is I had just left. The second one, gave. The third one, read. The fourth one, made. And the fifth one, got. The sixth one, had. The seventh one, was late. Eighth one, I got there. And ninth one, had left my judo suit at home. The 10th one, went. The 11th one is got. And the 12th one is had already begun. The 13th is learned. The 14th is spoke. The 15th is talked. The 16th is did you decide? So I think this task didn't cause you any difficulty. In sentences with the past perfect tense, we saw that before one action started at the definite time in the past, another action had already begun and had been completed. Now we will watch an interesting video related to the topic and strengthen the knowledge we have learned even more.
Okay, let's do this. Today I'm going to teach you what consumer behavior is. First of all, it is defined as the area of research within the field of marketing that focuses on how consumers acquire, use and dispose of goods, services, time and ideas. Consumers can be individuals, families or other groups such as teams and companies. Let's try to understand the importance of studying consumer behavior. Suppose you need a new phone. How would you go about satisfying this need? Where would you turn to for information? How would you set your budget? Where would you buy the phone? These are just some decisions consumers face on a regular basis. Interestingly, each consumer will answer these questions differently based on their backgrounds and some psychological factors. For a company that makes phones, the answers to these questions will help them know the types of phones to design, the price consumers are willing to pay, and where they should sell their phones. It is very important to understand how consumers make decisions, because the best way to create and keep customers is to understand what motivates their consumption decisions and anticipate their consumption needs. Only this way, companies can design products, services and offers that will make their customers happy.
Alright students, now let me explain your homework project called Consumer Behavior. For this project, you need to understand how people choose products and why they buy certain things. Consumer behavior means the way customers think, choose, and make decisions when shopping. First, choose one product category such as clothes, smartphones, food, cosmetics, shoes, or books. Then complete all 4 parts of the project. Part 1 is observation. You need to visit a shop, supermarket, or online store and observe customers. Watch how people behave while shopping. Notice which products are popular, if customers compare prices, if packaging attracts them, and whether discounts help sales. Also think about whether people buy quickly or carefully. Part 2 is mini interview. Ask 3 people simple questions about their shopping habits. For example, what they buy most often, why they choose a brand, if advertisements influence them, if discounts change their decisions, and whether price or quality is more important. And part 3 is analysis. Write a short paragraph of 100 to 150 words. Explain what factors influence consumers most, how companies attract buyers, and what you learned from this project. And part 4 is the presentation. prepare a short 3-minute presentation to share your findings with the class. Speak clearly and confidently, and make your project neat, creative, and based on real observation. And good luck and do your best. And this was the end of our lesson. See you next time. Goodbye.